Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start today's video, I just want to quickly say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, I do hope your day is going way better than fantastic. And your journey to self-betterment is going way better than fantastic as well. Today I came across a story I wanted to talk about that illustrates something I've mentioned before, and have mentioned for years on this channel. And that is, be careful who you not only let into your life, but into the life of your family. I've seen it happen to both men and women, where they have the wrong so-called friend and they get led down a terrible and even evil path, in some cases that destroys their family. And in some cases they are victimized by these so-called friends. But sadly, what is worse is when you pick a terrible toxic life partner and on top of it, you have a toxic terrible friend as well. Well, this is a story about UFC fighter Tim Elliott and his wife, who is also a UFC fighter, Gina Mazzani. And according to Tim, his wife Gina had been cheating on Tim with his best friend who is a fighter as well, during their entire marriage and before they got married. Even on their own wedding day allegedly. But here's something important to note. Tim Elliott got that gut feeling or response, and accused Gina of cheating on him with this other guy before they got married. And of course she said there was nothing to what he was saying, and such a thing didn't happen. But after they got married, he found text messages confirming what he suspected. Then, according to Tim Elliott, his wife Gina later confessed, and she is now in a relationship with this other guy to this day, from what Tim says. People, we have to start trusting our gut. God is speaking to you. God and his angels can see everything. He can hear every bad word spoken about us when we aren't there. And he knows how people really feel about us. There is even a picture of this woman Gina Mazzani, in her wedding dress, crouched down in her wedding dress, reading vows to Tim's daughter from another relationship, with the guy she's cheating on Tim with holding the microphone. You literally can't make this stuff up. And Tim mentioned he and this other guy spent a lot of brotherly time together, as this other guy is a professional fighter as well. Tim helped him train, and was his corner man several times. And again during that process, I'm sure they spent a lot of brotherly best friend times together. You see, both you men and women alike out there, your marriage or relationships, if you meet and fall in love with someone as the Bible talks about, your friends and even your family will understand and even encourage you to have your time with your wife or husband. I've seen several times over, where a man and a woman are dating for several years, and about ready to get married. And now the woman in this relationship, she might get a new job at a new company. And before you know it, she becomes so-called besties with a woman at her work. And this new woman is now being brought into her life and her boyfriend's soon-to-be husband's life. And it seems like every weekend she is going places and doing things with this guy's longtime girlfriend. And over this time of gaining her trust, this new best girlfriend starts to drop little seeds of doubt about her soon-to-be husband. Maybe she might say, "I know you love him and he appears to be a really nice guy. But are you sure he's the guy you want to spend the rest of your life with? Or are you sure he makes enough money to make you content and happy?" Then she introduces her to happy hour and nightclubs and flirting with other men. Hey, one dance. No one needs to know. Then before you know it, this soon-to-be wife is slinking around with this nobody she met at the nightclub, behind the back of a man that truly loves her. And sadly, this was the intent of this so-called new bestie all along. She meant to bring this woman down this road and ruin any kind of happiness and relationship she had with this man. Because narcissists love to ruin people's lives. And when they do it and they can walk away scot-free, it makes them feel all-powerful and as a master manipulator. They will even pretend to still be this man's now ex-girlfriend's shoulder to cry on once this man discovers the cheating. Or you can have a woman and man that just got married. And one of the woman's cousins is now coming around a bit more often. And inserting herself into her cousin's and new husband's life. And all she is doing is looking for any weak spot she can find to make this man doubt her cousin and his wife. And before you know it, this woman's own family is in her home and hooking up with her husband. This kind of thing happens all the time. It happens all the time. And in these examples I just gave, just like Tim Elliott, many people get that gut feeling. But we are told we are crazy. We are this and that. We get gaslit. But months and sometimes years later, we find out the entire thing was way worse than what we could have even dreamed it to be. In some cases these people that were with us never even loved us. And in Tim's case, likely he had a terrible wife from the get-go and a terrible friend from the get-go. I say that because there are some instances like I mentioned with the narcissist friend will come in and will slowly work on you to get you to destroy your own life. And they will just sit back with their popcorn and watch the show. And they do this by slowly getting you to doubt not only the relationship you have with someone you love, but they will work hard to get you to doubt yourself. Here's a bad example, but it's all I can think of at the moment. Remember when you were a kid, and you were blessed enough to have maybe, let's say, an aunt or uncle that had a good job, and they bought you a pair of designer jeans or a nice pair of shoes. All of us that grew up poor can relate to this one. And wow, we were so thrilled. Getting something like that under normal circumstances. Meaning being able to afford such a thing. No way. But here we are being given this wonderful gift. We are so happy. Then we wear them to school the next day or the following Monday. And your so-called best friend starts to make fun of you and your new jeans or shoes. Or maybe they don't make fun of it directly. They might make small comments here and small comments there that make you second guess them and if you should even be wearing them. And they do such a good job at mind scrambling you over these jeans or shoes. You never wear them again. And believe it or not, this is fairly easy for them to do. A great many people fall for this type of brainwashing again and again and again. Well, they use this same technique when they are trying to get someone that might be a kind, loving person to fall out of love with the person they have been dating for 5 years. This is why I say, if you feel like you are with someone that is solid, and I mean solid, meaning you haven't had any strange weird dealings with them, where you had to argue with them about something that they did to you that wasn't cool. You both seem to be on the same page. And you have the same beliefs. You need to sit down as a couple and you need to talk about how to not only keep your family physically safe. Meaning, what do you do if a literal intruder breaks into the house? Or if there is a fire? Or a medical crisis? Yes. These are all things that should be talked about and a plan of action should be designed to fit your home. But on top of that, you need to sit down and talk about how you all are to deal with people outside of your relationship. And if your husband or wife-to-be refuses to accept or admit that someone would try to come into your lives and try to cheat with you or them, you will likely have an uphill battle with this person believing anything. Plus, I don't buy someone not believing this is possible. To me, this would be a possible red flag of narcissism or another toxic disorder. Because most people, not all, but most people have had a friend do them wrong at some point in their life. Most people have had someone lie to them before. The problem is the narcissist type wants to keep the door open in the relationship to do whatever it is they want. So they can't admit these kinds of things are possible. Because it would put restrictions on their behavior. Plus, the definition of abuse has been expanded. If someone in a relationship wants to put on their nightclub clothes and run off to the nightclub, And if you try to convince them not to go, you will be classified as a manipulative abuser. And yes, this will be seen as abuse. Same with if they want to spend up all of the household's money on things that don't make sense. You will be seen as a financial abuser. So no matter if you are slowly dating and getting to know someone or if you are married or getting married, you need to have some serious talks, and based on the answers you get from these talks, could determine if this is truly the relationship for you. If you start dating someone and things are doing well, and you start having that "are we serious" talk, you might make it clear to them that you do not in any way, shape or form date or consider marriage to someone that wants to run to the bars, nightclubs, and weekend trips with your bestie. And if that is something they plan on doing in the future, then possibly we want to stop this relationship now before things start moving forward. Now if the person argues with you and wants to know why this and why that, they are clearly telling you through this argument they really want to go to these places and likely will sometime after the honeymoon phase wears off. And as a side note, though narcissists can at times hold their mask on for years before they show you who they really are, they tend to break character. Not always, but around the 6-month mark. And usually they will pick an argument about nothing. But one other thing I've noticed is they will mysteriously have a best friend show up they haven't talked to in a few years. 6 months into your relationship. I mean, up till then, it's you and them. You are together all of the time, and traveling and doing this and that. But now this new friend has shown up. And guess what? This new person you are dating says, "I wanted to be honest with you. We are going to meet at a nightclub. We haven't seen each other in a long time and we wanted to catch up and have some fun." I've seen this happen again and again and again. And every time I've seen this, it has been the start of what we know as narcissistic abuse. And when I've seen this happen, the people would say to their significant other, "Why can't you two just meet up for lunch? Or go play day mini golf?" And then the argument happens with "you are insecure" and blah blah blah. Trust your gut, people. Trust your gut. These people are telling you sometimes on month 6 who they truly are. They are telling you they are a cheater and a manipulator. Tim Elliott knew something was wrong. And just like many of us, we got lulled back to sleep. If someone loves you, they won't want to do all of that kind of mess. If you sit down with your girlfriend or boyfriend when you start dating and you talk about these things, in a way to not be controlling, but in a way to protect each other from those wanting to sabotage your future. And if this person you are getting to know is on board with this type of communication, you are possibly moving in the right direction. Because it feels nice to meet someone new at work that is taking an interest in us. Plus we want to make a good impression and be a team player and all of that mess they try to sell at these oftentimes fake corporate job friendships. If you are in any industry or job, if you walk away with 1 or 2 or 3 good friends out of the possible dozens of people you work with, then you just achieved something very rare. And if you have sat down with your spouse and you've come up with a game plan to keep you busy and away from such people trying to invade your life, and you talk to each other about it when things come up. "Hey honey, I met this new woman at work today. She seems nice, but she's wanting to get together for lunch this weekend. I let her know that you and I were having lunch together this weekend. So I politely told her no. But something weird happened. Just like we talked about. She began to kinda sorta shame me for spending most of my time with you, when she doesn't even really know me. I played it cool, and didn't make a big deal about it. But it was just strange. It happened just like we talked about. Look. The word no sometimes will be a better friend than some random person that shows up in your life. Now if this woman was okay with that no, and then later on, maybe 2 months later, they want to get a simple lunch. Hey, no problem. Maybe she was just trying to be friendly. People that are healthy respect your ability to say, no thank you. And when you do go, should you tell your husband or wife or boyfriend or girlfriend what was said at this lunch? Yes indeed. Yes indeed. Because if you are with someone that you love and trust, they might be able to see something that you can't see. Maybe you find out on this lunch. They are married but they are talking about having the hots for someone in finance. They may drop these little things into your lap to see how you will react. And if you are someone they can influence to be a part of their dirt as well. So yes. When you go home, tell your husband. Tell your wife. Tell your boyfriend. Tell your girlfriend. And likely you both will come to the conclusion this is someone you should never hang out with again. And you both will work together to give her an excuse that allows her to be friendly with this person at work, but at the same time able to stay out of their business. Along with being too busy to hang out outside of work. There is nothing wrong with having a relationship in this way. Because when you have something good in your life, Satan will work his hardest to rip it out of your life and out of your hands. Even if that is a relationship with someone that you love and someone that loves you. Not every friend is a friend. And not every husband or wife is a true husband or wife. We hear about husbands and wives all of the time, putting stuff in their partner's food or drink, just to bump them off so they can be with someone else, and possibly get some insurance money out of it. If you get that gut feeling something is wrong, listen to that gut feeling and trust it. Most of us had it. And this Tim Elliott is living proof of what many of us experienced. He knew or felt something was wrong, and was allegedly lulled or possibly argued back to sleep. So rule number 1. Trust your gut. If someone you are dating or about ready to get married to doesn't seem right, you think they are cheating on you or doing you dirty in some way or another, there's a good chance they probably are. I was watching this one video channel a while ago about of this bounty hunter that follows people before they get married, because one of the spouses isn't sure. And 9 times out of 10 their gut instincts were right. Rule number 2. If you are in a relationship that you believe is going somewhere positive, sit down and talk with this person and get on the same page. And getting on the same page should be easy and effortless. They say relationships are hard work. I disagree to a large extent. Yes. Relationships can be hard work when there is sickness and financial trouble. But being on the same page? No. That should be easy. If you are always arguing about these types of things, your gut is likely screaming at you to run and not look back. If someone loves you and wants to be with you for real, you two will sit down and talk about these things and come up with plans to keep each other and your relationship safe. Because Satan is working day and night figuring out how he can send a human your way with a monkey wrench to toss into your life. That will ruin the home and life you share with your husband or wife, or boyfriend or girlfriend. Please be careful who you let into your life. I'm sure Tim Elliott is wishing he trusted his gut. My prayers go out to him. I hope he can get through this and God is with him. Also I pray his daughter isn't taking this too hard as well. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.